Functions in Java. So the main method is is the starting points of execution of any program. That is one thing. This is the main method. Why main method is void? It's because the main method does not have any return statement. So we don't add any return statement to it. Here we have a set of four functions. Functions are methods. We can call them either of them. Now here we have a test method. It's a non-static method. Since static keyword is not mentioned here, if it was a static method, we would have entered static here. Since it is not, so we are not entering that. Void, void because it does not return anything. So this is the second PQR method in which we are not giving any input in the arguments. We are printing the PQR method, then there are two values, we are adding them up and then return. This is a return statement. This is a method with a return statement. Another method we have QA Selenium. We are not inputting anything, giving any inputs or arguments, but we are storing this string in S and then we are returning this S. Return. So this particular method when called will give a value of this S, which is Selenium. Again we have a division method. Here we are giving two inputs, A and B. This is numerator, this is denominator. So A divided by B. Return. This also gives us the return of this. Note that here in these three methods we have int, string and int. So why? Because they are returning something and their type, the return type C is int, so that's why we have entered int. Return S is a string, so here we have entered string, and here return is again div is int, so here we have entered int. Here we are not returning anything, so we have mentioned void. Okay, so how do we call them? How do we call these methods? So to call any method we need to create an object first. So this particular thing is the object, and this is the reference variable which is pointing to this object. So as soon as we create this object, a copy of these non-static methods will get assigned to the object. So here the object is new function, so there will be object like this, and then this test method, PQR method, QA method and division method, copy of these methods will be assigned to that object. Now how do we call them? We call them using the reference variable obj. The obj.test would call the test method. Okay, so test method is test would get printed here. As you can see, test method gets printed here. Here as we can see, PQR is returned up int, the C gets stored, so this returns a int value. So what we are doing here is int z, we are storing this obj.pqr, the value that we get from here, into a z variable. Okay, and then we're printing out z. So when we print out z, we should get a value of 30, which we're getting. Okay, first it prints this PQR and then it returns us this element. Okay, again so again string s is equal to obj.qa. Here obj.qa, qa is equal to selenium, and here selenium comes, and what happens is we store this selenium, whatever is returned here, into s, string s, and when we run it, it gives us selenium. Okay, because we're printing out s here. Again obj.division divides it into 2 and we get 2 here. Why? Because we're calling out x, printing the x value. So here if I add something like print out division, so I will run it. Here we can see that some error we got. Did I do something wrong?